Is the estrogen patch shortage real? Well, I think so, because I just had to drive 30 miles away from my home pharmacy in order to get my estrogen patch refill, because every other pharmacy was out of stock, and I kept getting like transferred within the CVS app to pick it up at another location, and then the prescription would hang out for a day, and then I'd get notified that it was out of stock and, click here for your options. And I finally found a pharmacy that had it in stock and I could pick up the prescription. So I'm sitting in the parking lot at CVS and I was able to walk out of there with a 90-day supply, and that feels awesome. I have been feeling really good 2 months out now on HRT, and the thought of not having my patch prescription filled, it left me feeling kind of panicked, because it worried me, like what would happen to my body? Would I go into like some chaos again if I all of a sudden stopped taking my estrogen patch? I still have my progesterone pills, which I can take those each night, whether or not I'm on estrogen. So I would have maintained that while I sorted out the estrogen patch refill. But, it just was giving me some anxiety the last few days. I'm curious what it's like where you live. Are you having a hard time finding your patches, or are things good? I've always been warned about this by my MIDI practitioner. I just haven't had a problem until now. And I think it's, access to these patches has widened as these online platforms have popped up like MIDI, who are making it more accessible for women to get their HRT meds. And I think the drug makers just haven't caught up to the demand, but hopefully they do soon. And as far as my dosing on my patch, I'm still at the 0.0375 milligrams, and I change up my patch twice a week. My MIDI practitioner wanted to keep me at that low level because it's still early for me and I'm not having any negative side effects right now, which is good. Although I'm showing some signs that I need to increase my dose. At the end of my last period, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't talking about my period. So I got to keep that up for you guys. At the end of my last period, I had the worst hot flash that I have experienced so far. We were staying at a friend's house, and our kids were sleeping in the room with us, just to give you extra context. And it hit me in the middle of the night where I got up to go to the bathroom, and then I could feel it starting in my chest and the back of my neck, this just building heat. And it continued to grow to the point where I woke my husband up, and I just was I was feeling really panicked about it. And he told me, just take off your clothes. So I did. I took off my shirt and my pants, and I was just in my underwear, which felt really vulnerable. I don't know why. You're staying at someone else's house. You never know if you're going to have to exit the room quickly or someone will pop into your room. And the kids were in there. Not that they haven't seen me before, but that was the only way I was comfortable. And that's never happened to me before. So I brought it up in my last follow-up appointment with my MIDI practitioner, and she explained that it kind of makes sense that at the end of my period, my estrogen levels are at their lowest, and the hot flashes returned when I was at that low level, because the patch is only doing so much to kind of keep me up at a comfortable level. And when I was on the end of my period, my natural levels were so low that even the little bit the patch is helping couldn't quite get me up to where I need to be to not experience that hot flash. So knowing that, she said in the future she would like to increase my dose, but for now we're keeping it as is because I've only had a couple of periods so far while on HRT, and we need to see that my cycle is regular and that it doesn't become too heavy. So we'll see. I explained last week my very first period was very heavy. The second period was lighter for sure. So let's see what happens in May. But for now, I've got my 90-day supply of patches. I'm stocked on my progesterone, and that feels really good. So thanks for sitting with me in another parking lot. And if you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Sounds cheesy, but it's the only way that I know that this helped you at all. So thanks for being here.